China's state media and official speeches frequently highlight the country's advances in robotics. Reports show factories with minimal lighting, automated production lines, and new technologies like robot dogs and exoskeletons. These presentations suggest China is becoming a global leader in automation. However, documented reporting from inside the country reveals a more complex picture. Many of these demonstrations are highly choreographed. So-called dark factories still rely on significant human labor, and the new machines operate within existing patterns of low wages, long hours, and extensive workplace oversight. This video examines what these developments mean for workers on the ground. Robot factories versus human factories. What Beijing claims. On state TV and in official speeches, China's leaders present dark factories and smart manufacturing as proof that the country has upgraded from cheap labor to high-tech power. Provincial news segments literally talk about no-worker workshops and lights-out production lines, and officials say that automation will liberate workers from hard, dirty, or dangerous jobs and show that China is now setting the pace for the world. In these clips, robot arms move with perfect timing, sparks fly in the dark, and a few smiling workers pose for the cameras as you hear phrases like world-leading automation, no workers needed, and global benchmark smart factories. What documented reporting shows? Fully or near-fully automated dark factories do exist in China, but they are a tiny slice of a huge factory landscape. Even in highly automated plants that are featured in glowing reports, you still see humans everywhere, maintaining machines, checking quality, feeding materials, cleaning, and doing logistics. Just a short drive away from the showpiece projects, there are still factories where people work 12 to 14 hours a day, repeating the same motion thousands of times, then sleeping in crowded dorms or even in rooms next to the machines themselves. In one metal parts factory I visited, the robot cells had polished floors and brand new safety fences. The workers' dorms down the road still had mold on the walls and shared bathrooms. For local officials and big brands, robots are a prestige project, perfect for headlines, investment pitches, and visits from higher-ups. From what workers and labor researchers report, when robots do arrive in large numbers, they are not there to make life gentler. They are often used to cut headcount, push output higher, or shift people into more disposable roles around the machines. In a different kind of labor system, the same robots could reduce hours or remove the worst tasks. In China's factory hierarchies today, the slogan says robots will free workers, but the documented experience on the ground is that robots make factories and officials look advanced, while the people who keep everything running are still treated as costs to be minimized. Exoskeletons and super workers. What Beijing claims. In viral clips and official pieces, workers wear metal frames that let them lift heavy loads with ease or march longer in harsh terrain. In the military, exoskeletons are presented as helping soldiers carry more gear and stay effective at high altitude. In state-owned companies, similar devices are marketed as tools to protect workers' health and reduce strain during difficult tasks. Local propaganda accounts call them things like iron armor for the people and technology that cares for frontline heroes. It looks like a sci-fi upgrade. Same worker, new armor, problem solved, with technology framed as a gift that makes hard jobs safe and modern. What the reality looks like. On construction sites, in warehouses, and across many state-linked jobs, the core problems are low pay, long hours, and weak protection when things go wrong. Workers are often pushed to the limit not because their bodies are too weak, but because the whole incentive structure is built to squeeze maximum output from each person and makes it hard to say no. There are concerns that in this system, exoskeletons could be used to increase workplace pressure on individual workers rather than to hire more staff or meaningfully reduce hours. In this environment, exoskeletons don't automatically protect workers. They could simply make it easier to demand more from each person. The technology itself is not evil. Used in a place that genuinely respects labor rights, it could reduce injuries and lighten workloads. You can imagine the same exoskeletons in a country with strong unions and real safety rules actually sending people home less broken at the end of the day. But in practice, under a political model where performance metrics and political targets matter more than individual workers, super worker clips become another way to celebrate output without fixing late wages, unsafe schedules, or the lack of a real safety net. The hashtag says technology protects workers, but the power structure says bosses and officials decide how that tech is used, and the worker doesn't get to choose. Robot dogs, patrol bots in control. What Beijing claims. Robot dogs and patrol bots are introduced as intelligent patrol partners in tech parks, public parks, and city streets. Local news segments show them walking through industrial zones with captions like 24-hour safety guardians and AI city managers. Official descriptions emphasize public safety and efficiency, saying these machines can inspect equipment, check for fire hazards, and spot problems in real time. They are plugged into smart city systems with 360-degree cameras, sensors, and high-speed connections to control centers, and are marketed as symbols of modern urban management that make cities safer and more convenient. What the reality looks like: China already runs one of the world's most extensive surveillance networks with dense CCTV coverage, facial recognition, phone and ID tracking, and AI tools that scan crowds for abnormal behavior. During lockdowns, drones were used to broadcast messages from the sky, and in many cities, cameras cover streets, alleys, and even the entrances to villages. From the perspective of how this system tends to use technology, robot dogs and rolling patrol bots are being added to that mix, turning into mobile platforms for cameras and sensors. They become machines that do not get tired, do not ask questions, and can be sent anywhere officials decide needs management. These aren't just futuristic gadgets. In this context, they serve as mobile monitoring units. In Western promos, similar robots are often sold as entertainment, research tools, or niche helpers. In theory, even in China, they could be used mainly for building inspections or rescue work. But inside the CCP's governance model, every new connected machine also functions as an eye and ear for authorities, another node in a network built not just to manage traffic and fires, but to keep society predictable and manageable. The public story is, look how advanced and safe our cities are. But the deeper reality is, look at how many new ways we're building to watch, record, and respond to whatever people do. Image versus reality: who pays, who benefits? What Beijing claims: robotics, AI, and smart cities are presented as proof that China has moved past the old low-cost factory model. National plans call for millions of industrial robots, high-tech industrial parks, and intelligent patrol systems that symbolize stability and modern governance. Local governments compete to show they are innovative, launching robot pilots, smart zones, and glossy tech demos to impress higher-level leaders and attract investment. At conferences, mayors stand in front of LED walls showing robot dogs and automated workshops and promise high-quality development. The message from the top is that investment in machines equals progress, prosperity, and global leadership. What the reality looks like: huge amounts of money flow into new machines, smart city platforms, and showcase projects, while many ordinary factories still rely on exhausted human labor, and many local economies struggle with debt and stalled developments. From the ground, it appears that officials are prioritizing technological showcases while economic pressures on workers continue to mount. Robots in China are not just about efficiency, they are about image, to show the world in Beijing that everything is advanced and under control, and about oversight, as each new camera, drone, robot dog, or smart factory can be folded into a surveillance and management network that from the ground appears focused on maintaining stability and managing social behavior. You've just seen both sides of China's robot miracle: the official story Beijing wants you to believe, and the human reality behind the camera. If you want more unfiltered stories from inside China's economy and its censored corners, subscribe to Panda Reports. Here, the focus is not just on the shiny machines, but on the people living under them. Economic pressures on workers, stories from construction sites, and the quiet ways trust in the system is evolving. If this video reaches 100 likes, there will be a deep dive into what really happens to unpaid construction workers when they dare to complain, including the pressure, monitoring tools, and responses they face when they push back. Your like, comment, and subscription help push these stories past the censors and past the propaganda, so more people can see both sides of China.